Tonight we have new information about a cardiologist at the center of a 13 News investigation. 13 Investigates has learned this doctor is no longer employed at a hospital where he has faced allegations of malpractice. Tonight our senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel explains why some of his former patients are heartbroken and why the doctor's challenges have now moved from the operating room to the courtroom.
At the time of this deposition,
can you please state your name for the record?
Sure, Edward Harlamert.
Dr. Edward Harlamert was chief of cardiology at Witham Hospital in Lebanon. But today, the doctor does not work here anymore. Witham confirmed for 13 News the longtime cardiologist and hospital have parted ways. His recent departure comes after 13 Investigates reported several of Dr. Harlamert's patients have filed malpractice complaints. They accuse the cardiologist of conducting unnecessary heart procedures. Medical records obtained by 13 News show some of Dr. Harlamert's patients were subjected to dozens of heart catheterizations ordered by the doctor, and some received dozens of stents implanted in their arteries.
Are you troubled by what you see there?
Yes.
Medical experts consulted by 13 Investigates said that is very unusual.
Treatment did not follow the standard of care.
And that's not standard of care.
Standard of care, no, absolutely. This wasn't standard of care.
Over the past 30 years, Dr. Harlamert has treated thousands of patients at Community Health, IU Health, and most recently Witham Health. And the care he provided at all three has come under scrutiny, forcing the cardiologist to explain his medical decisions.
If it is an unnecessary stent, then that could be unethical, but it's not necessarily.
So why exactly did he leave Witham? Well, the hospital told 13 Investigates it does not comment on personnel matters, and Harlamert and his attorneys have not returned multiple calls and emails from 13 News. But we do know the doctor's departure comes as he's dealing with several legal setbacks. In January, a state medical review panel unanimously found Dr. Harlamert failed to comply with the appropriate standard of care involving one of his patients. And a few weeks ago, a judge in Boone County also ruled against him, agreeing with the medical review panel's findings that the doctor engaged in malpractice that caused injuries to his patient. That patient is Carlotta Lawton.
It's been rough.
Carlotta saw Dr. Harlamert at Witham Hospital about 5 years ago. She went to the hospital for a migraine headache, but she says Dr. Harlamert diagnosed her with something else.
He looks at me and goes, "Oh, you're having a massive heart attack."
Dr. Harlamert conducted tests and determined Carlotta's LAD, or left anterior descending artery, was 75% blocked. He inflated a tiny balloon and implanted a stent to open the blockage. But when 13 Investigates showed Carlotta's medical records to other cardiologists,
Right here in the middle of the LAD,
so they could see exactly what Dr. Harlamert saw, they did not detect nearly enough blockage to justify placing a stent in Carlotta's chest. One of those medical experts consulted by 13 News said, in that LAD, no narrowing that would have warranted a stent whatsoever. My jaw dropped when I saw that. The Indiana Medical Review Panel came to the same conclusion, finding the care Dr. Harlamert provided Carlotta amounted to malpractice.
I'm so happy, but it's not over yet. It's not over.
It's not over for Carlotta because a procedure from Dr. Harlamert resulted in serious complications.
She started developing a hematoma while I was fixing her artery.
I lost so much blood.
The complications left her bedridden and unable to walk.
My leg is like it's frozen.
Carlotta is one of 11 patients to file formal complaints against Dr. Harlamert. So far, 2 of those cases resulted in a finding of malpractice, 4 found in favor of the doctor, and 5 cases are still pending. Attorney Justin Kuhn represents several of the patients.
We're not saying Dr. Harlamert has treated every one of his patients poorly, right? There's cases where he might have done everything by the book. But we know of multiple cases where he's been found to have committed malpractice by a medical review panel. And these are not close call cases. This is, clear misconduct.
What is Dr. Harlamert doing next? Well, he recently filed paperwork with the Indiana Secretary of State's office to establish 2 new companies. One called Harlamert Heart and Vascular LLC and another called Harlamert Heart Consulting LLC. A new website says he's now accepting new patients, despite findings by the state that he's engaged in malpractice.
Dr. Harlamert is still able to practice in Indiana, correct?
Correct.
Do you have any concerns about that?
I certainly do. So far, there's been no action against his license that we're aware of. So I hope that changes.
Carlotta is hoping for that too.
I just don't want this to happen to someone else.
Again, 13 News has been reaching out to Dr. Harlamert and his attorneys for weeks by phone and by email, and they haven't responded at all. Several years ago, one of his attorneys told us Dr. Harlamert has always been committed to providing quality care to patients, and he treats patients based on their unique circumstances, his expertise, and the tools available. We'll continue to monitor the malpractice claims still pending against the doctor. And if you'd like to see our full investigation, we have a link to that at WTHR.com. I'm Bob Siegel, 13 Investigates.